The inner workings of US diplomacy are being put on display for the world to see, thanks to whistleblower website WikiLeaks. Thousands of communiques reveal often damning opinions on host countries. Among them, suggestions the State Department knew that Georgia was planning an attack on South Ossetia and the use of mocking nicknames for the Russian leadership. The Kremlin says it is paying no attention to the leaks and hopes it won't damage relations with the US. Nazarti's Alexei Yaroshevsky reports most of the revelations were actually some of the worst kept secrets in global diplomacy.
We understand that this is only a first part of almost 250,000 documents to be published by the controversial website WikiLeaks, and it may seem sensational to some, the facts which are listed in these documents, and maybe jeopardizing the reputation of American diplomacy as a whole. But to many experts, these new revelations by the website is not something completely new and is not something completely unexpected. In fact, many experts say that these facts are something many journalists and politicians have always known about, and it just needed an official proof, which was found in the form of these publications by the website.
We know pretty much most of what the United States thinks about leaders and about events and processes. The embarrassing thing would be simply to see it in print on official documents.
Well, to summarize what the WikiLeaks website had to say this time is many different issues, many different new facts about the way the American diplomacy has been behaving in the last several years. In particular, plans to spy on UN top officials during the UN General Assembly, to wiretap their phones and acquire their fingerprints and credit card numbers. Also, a discreet support of the Kurdish party in Turkey, despite it had been never openly admitted that the support was there, and that in fact, Washington has been Turkey's very strong ally. So this is somehow a betrayal of its very close ally, according to the website. And also very interesting facts, instructions revealed by the WikiLeaks, instructions to the Western European diplomats on how and when to leave the UN General Assembly hall during the Iranian president's speech. So all these collections seem to be pretty interesting, but the one question which is really interesting to many experts right now is the timing of these publications. Obviously, all these facts listed by the website relate to the George W. Bush era, to 2008 and earlier than that, and many experts are trying to find out as to why it was published now with Obama administration in office. And many see a clear connection here, believing that this is an attempt to pin the sins and wrongdoings of the Bush era onto the current administration.
As I understand, the Obama administration is supposed to pay the bills of the last administration, because some documents are dated back to the year 2004, 2005. So I personally have a feeling that this is an ongoing attack on President Obama, which started not today and which aims not to allow him to be re-elected.
Some of the information by the website was distributed exclusively to the Ruski Reporter, or the Russian Reporter magazine, and it is a really interesting information in that sense, that it is related to the 2008 South Ossetian conflict. The website reported that the U.S. ambassador at the time, John Theft, who is now the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, knew some 24 hours before Georgian bombs started falling on the South Ossetian capital that the Georgian military complexes were heading towards the South Ossetian border. And several days later, he discreetly contacted Washington, asking to initiate an information campaign to protect President Saakashvili's name, as if the whole world wasn't expecting that Saakashvili started this war. And also we know, according to this information from the website, that several countries, including the Baltic states and Poland, they knew about the fact that Saakashvili was the one who started this attack on South Ossetia, but they still went on to protect Georgia and officially support the country in that war. Also, another interesting information published by the website is that the some American diplomats have been using rather abusive descriptions of world leaders, including the Russian president and Russian prime minister. They were deliberating as to who is actually running things in Russia, suggesting that it was Vladimir Putin who is truly in charge, despite that he is the prime minister, not the president. Well, these speculations are not something completely new. Basically, one could read about it in any Western newspaper or magazine. And besides these talks, these conversations were taking place in the George W. Bush era in 2008 and earlier than that. So now, as long as we have this reset of relations between Moscow and Washington, maybe the opinions among the U.S. diplomats are now different. But indeed, we have to see what the reaction of the U.S. diplomats on those revealings by the WikiLeaks will be.
RT's Alexei Yaroshevsky reporting there. Well, the chief editor of Russian Reporter magazine says that WikiLeaks could never have happened without people inside the government wanting the information exposed.
These leaks would never have happened if not for the number of insiders who are ready to leak this information. It looks like it's linked to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, when officers understood that they are working for a not exactly fair business, and this moral decay inside the Pentagon caused these leaks. The main thing this leak has done is break the illusion that the State Department has everything under control. There have been exposed mechanisms, not secret but quite simple and cynical. Partners of the US will be more careful now. It's another sign that the US is no longer dominating the world.